What's up, YouTube? Hope you like the sun glaring right into your camera lens like I do. Helps block out my face. I'm stuck in traffic here. I'm driving around doing some work. On my way to work, I guess you could say. I wanted to make a video about public school. I just watched Charls Carroll video for the second or third time because I really love it. I'll put it in the description below. But it's basically just him talking about public school and how homeschooling's the only option nowadays, and you really need to homeschool, and there's no reason to put your kid in a public school. And kind of his like one-liner from the video is like, I straight up would rather not have kids than put them in a public school. Like, if that's the only option, I'll just not have them. And I really couldn't agree more. This is coming from a certified public school attendee, and I think I have a unique perspective on it for a couple of reasons. For one, I was suspended from school in 7th grade. That's not that special. Plenty of people get suspended from school for getting in fights or who knows what. And then I was actually expelled from public school in 10th grade and basically had to finish the year at like a satellite school. And then I was able to come back on suspended expulsion. But if you know me in my personal life, you know the whole story. I'm not going to get into the details. Let's just say that I was selling certain things on campus that are not permitted to be sold by the school district. But that is what it is, you know. I look back on it as one of my most formative life moments. And so that's one of the reasons that I think I have a very unique perspective on public school and why it's just completely trash, completely garbage. And then also my girlfriend, she actually attended a charter school through 6th grade. And just hearing, you know, the difference between my public school experience in elementary school and her charter school experience, it's literally night and day. I mean, for so many reasons. They did art, they did, you know, drama, singing, they did plays, they had, you know, different types of teachers come. Like, she said they had like a guy from Africa come and teach them like drumming. They went to Yosemite. They did tons of field trips. They were right next to the local slough. They'd get to play in the slough. All of this amazing stuff versus like my elementary school experience. The best that I got was like a trip to Sacramento to see the state capitol or something. That was one of my most fun field trips I can remember. Or like my friend's mom, actually, bless her heart, came and tried to teach us gardening at the school garden, but that fizzled out pretty quick, you know. It was maybe 1 or 2 days a semester doing gardening. Oh, I'm driving by a middle school right now. How funny. Anyway, so why is public school so garbage? I think it's important to go into the origins of public school. If you look up the history of public school in the United States, at least, you'll find that around the turn of the 20th century, a lot of industrialists pushed in a major way for the modern public school system that we have today. John D. Rockefeller, probably some people from the Morgan Gambit. I don't know the specifics, but John D. Rockefeller was a big part of public school, shaping the way that we have public school today. Now, why would somebody like John D. Rockefeller do that? That's very interesting when you think about it. A very wealthy billionaire industrialist, and he's pushing for public school in its modern form. It should at least kind of start to raise some red flags for you. That's all I'm going to say about that, right? I mean, it'd be like Mark Zuckerberg today being like, oh, we need a total overhaul of the public school system. And side note, I think Mark Zuckerberg started at college, so in some ways he is, but you know, everybody hates Zuckerberg with the metaverse and everything. Imagine if he was like, hey, I'm going to redo the education system. Everybody would be like, whoa, what? You know, so that's number one. But number two, I really just see public school as an indoctrination center. And I'm not going to try to get too conspiratorial here in this video. Just enough. Just a little sizzling of conspiracy. But, it's just, I mean, think about what it is. You send your kid to public school, they're going to be there for minimum of 6 hours a day? 6 hours a day? You're an adult, you know, you as the parent, if you had to be somewhere for 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, you would want fucking money. That's a full part-time job, 30 hours a week at least. Now, let alone if your kid's doing extracurriculars, they're probably going to be there about 8 hours a day. So you are literally signing your kid up for a full-time job, and they don't get any money. They don't reap any rewards from that. I understand they're supposed to get educated, but he mentions this in the video. How much real education goes on in a 6-hour day? 40 minutes? Maybe less. It's mostly just sitting in a class, crammed in there with 30 other kids, 30 plus kids crammed into one small classroom. The teacher's just barely trying to wrangle them, keep them from doing coke in class or something. It's ridiculous. So yeah, another unique perspective. My high school, Aptos High, had a rash of suicides before I was there. There was a lot of tragedy to strike Aptos High. There was a multiple fatality drunk driving incident a few years before I showed up. There was a string of suicides. There was about 3 before I showed up. One of my close friends, I don't really want to get too into this out of reverence for him, but was basically killed by police while attending Aptos High, not on campus, but, while he was a student at Aptos High. Just numerous tragedies. And then since I've left, there's been a fatal stabbing at Aptos High. And you can thank the 2020 pull, around 2020 with the whole police brutality issue and the George Floyd protests. California removed school resource officers from all high school campuses, right? So there's no longer a sheriff posted on campus. And lo and behold, maybe a year later, there's a fatal stabbing on school. So that's great. So just in general, they're indoctrination camps. It's basically a prison. You can't leave. Maybe you have an open campus, you can leave for half an hour a day. And then really, they don't prepare you for life. I mean, think about driver's ed, home ec, shop classes. All of these we used to have. Your parents, if you're my age, your Gen X parents had access to all of that. And they were all cut for college prep type of materials. Go Google, why is driver's ed no longer offered in California? Why has it been cut from so many different states' public education system? Well, it's to save money. It's just ridiculous. So now you have to go pay a driving school, to teach your kid nothing about driving, to barely teach your kid, instead of like the football coach teaching driver's ed, having a relationship with all the students, and having it be offered for free through public school. Because what's more important than being a good driver? I understand that learning history, math, whatever, arithmetic, English is important, maybe a second language, that's all important. But what about driving so you don't get in a head-on collision and die? Is that not important? How about shop class? Not everybody can be a professor. Not everybody can be, a very intellectual white-collar job. Why not prepare kids for, taking a welding class? They get out of high school, they're 18 years old, they already have a welding certificate from their shop class. Maybe they do, maybe they go get a few more certifications and then they're a welder, and they're making, north of 60 or 70K at 18, 19 years old. How about home ec? Just teaching kids how to balance their budget, how to make meals for themselves so they're not relying on eating fast food, eating McDonald's, It's honestly hilarious when you think about it. Like, really, high school nowadays just prepares you to go to college and get indebted, be in tens of thousands of dollars of debt before you're even 20 years old. And it's pretty sad, but what are you going to do? So my recommendation, if you're going to have a kid, plan on homeschooling them. Don't send them to a public school. It's just ridiculous. I mean, don't send it. You literally might as well just get them hooked on meth. You might as well just let your kids be raised by crack dealers instead of send them to public school. I mean, it's really that bad. It really is that bad. There's so many holes in the public school knowledge I could get into, even what they do teach. I mean, I came back from getting expelled. I took AP history. I didn't learn a single thing about Black Wall Street. I didn't learn a single thing about the Federal Reserve, about the truth of the New Deal. I didn't learn so many things. I didn't learn anything. Took economics, didn't learn anything about how money is created. Didn't learn anything about the Federal Reserve. Didn't learn anything about personal finance at all. Nothing about personal finance. Absolutely ridiculous. So asinine. And then we wonder why we have trillions of dollars of credit card and car debt in this country. We don't even teach basic personal finance. Not even the most basics of personal finance. We don't teach anything about budgeting, cooking for yourself, having a budget, saving money. Nothing taught about saving. The dangers of credit cards. We don't teach any of that. It's really now, excuse me, how rude. Really nowadays, I view high school as just pre-college. All of your teachers are basically going to assume you're going to college. They're going to teach as if you're going to college. It's not going to be presented as an option that you could further your education. It's going to be presented as a necessity. And it's just ridiculous. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you hate public school, leave a like on the video. Drop a comment. Tell me your experience with public school. I'm pretty sure it's going to be overwhelmingly negative. So just let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video, got some value out of it. Remember to never send your kids to a public school. Rather just get them hooked on crack. And thanks for watching. Love you guys.